From soldier to board gamer to YouTuber, welcome back. This is Board Game Officer. That's right, today we're doing Tiny Epic Dungeon Adventures, Obtain or Abstain, Kickstarter edition. So this is my goal here is actually to go in depth with all of the characters and items and stuff and what they do, what all the symbols mean, and what they've done. So we're gonna kind of dive right in here. Let's go up. They have 777,000 pledged, 13,000 backers, and 4 days left to go. Probably less than that by the time this video is posted. But let's go ahead and return to Ogmore. Tiny Epic Dungeons Adventures. So just as a caveat, I do love Tiny Epic Dungeons. It is one of my favorite games. So I am super excited about Tiny Epic Dungeons Adventures. As you can see, and I watched a couple of videos on this too, and I'm not really sure why, but as you can see, the initial Tiny Epic Dungeons Kickstarter had 41,000 backers, where this one's got 13,000. I don't know if that's because they had a lot of negative reviews when it initially came out. I feel like those reviews are not as popular, but there was a lot of negative stuff when it first came out. So I don't know if that's the reason why, or people just not backing stuff as much. Because more than likely this will go to retail, Tiny Epic Dungeon Adventures. There won't really be like Kickstarter exclusive stuff. And so if people are just waiting for it to go to retail possibly and wait for the reviews, that definitely could be a big part of it. But nonetheless, I'm backing it. I'm excited for this. But let's go ahead and start your journey here. So this does state that you can jump right into Tiny Epic Dungeons Adventures. You do not have to play Tiny Epic Dungeons first. It is its own separate and complete game. And it comes with all new loot, spells, dungeon rooms, enemies, all the fun stuff, but it is all compatible. So if you have the Tiny Epic Dungeon stuff already, yes, you can add in the heroes, add in all the enemies, the minions, the goblins, all of that fun stuff you can put into here. As well with the potion and perils, obviously, that's all compatible. This is showing the one new thing here, not the one new thing, but a new thing here, that there is a booklet that goes along with the dungeon, and this time it looks like the dungeon will already be set up instead of placing it out as before, which could have its positives and negatives. Before, it really made it like you were building a dungeon. Instead of exploring it, you were building it because you knew the percentages of what could be in that next 5 cards, and then the next 5, and 9, or next 15, or next 4. Whatever, you kind of knew, so you kind of build according to those percentages that you kind of knew. This is complete, just random, of my understanding at least. So that just puts a different strategy within this game, because that was a big strategy, was to build the dungeon, not just randomly explore. So that seems like this might be a little different. As we have talked, or as this is a adventures, this is a campaign version of Tiny Epic Dungeons. Should have said that at first, but this is a campaign version, 1 to 4 players. I'm pretty sure it's 1 to 4 players. And so, anyways, this is your dungeon booklet. Another new thing is you have explore tokens, which you can pick up, which we'll kind of go into further detail as they pop up here. But one of they're right here. You will encounter locked doors. So some of those explore tokens are going to be keys that you're going to find. Some of them are going to be bombs, which you could actually blow open a wall. So where there was no door, now there is a door. There's a fairy in a bottle, which basically gives you an extra action, heroic action. Not an extra, but gives you a heroic action when you do a rest, when you're unconscious. Usually you could only rest and move. Now that gives you a heroic action on that turn as well. And then there's a night lamp that when you perform a rest action, you also gain 3 on the torch track, which actually I think is kind of cool. I really like the idea of these explore tokens. They kind of just add a little bit more to it, which I'm excited to see. And you could only hold 2 of them. That's kind of a given with this. A lot of things you could only hold 2 of. And so that's along with that. And then the adventure booklet with the story and the campaign there. It does have a chest of continuation, which basically is just a save file, right? It's a little file you can put all your stuff in there just to save your progress. And then this is kind of funny. It's like, how do we fit this whole thing in a tiny box? We don't. We put it in a bigger box. But that's basically what this is. This is a double-sized box, as you can see. This is the normal size. This is going to be the size that's pretty much almost double as thick. So that means there's going to be lots of content, which is awesome. All right, what's in the box? We've got 8 heroes here, which we'll go through individually and kind of talk about them. We've got 25 room cards. We got 20 loot cards, including 3, what do you call them, like sets in there. We got 2 chest items, 2 trinkets, 2 hand items. These were just more loot cards that came through with all the stretch goals. 10 new spells, +2/+2 from stretch goals. So 14 new spell cards. Exit entrance, 4 explorer cards, and 2 blockage cards that you can't enter or see through. I think you can enter them, but you can't see through them. I don't remember exactly. I'll have to look that up. But then boss cards, which they're keeping secret until you play. And this is actually super interesting. 5 torch track cards. That means the torch track is not going to be the same every single game, which actually makes me really excited for that, because that's just one way to put it. New things in there. Then you've got 9 special room cards. You got 8 mob cards. 8 secret envelopes. That means there's going to be 8 separate scenarios in the base box here. Each envelope is its own dungeon, of my understanding at least. You got the Dungeon Booklet, chest of continuation adventures. You got more minions, the minion tokens, so that's cool. More minions and tokens from the stretch goals, mob tokens, fire tokens, trackers, boss token, brute tokens, spawn tokens, enemy die, 3 hero die, 22 dungeon tokens. And yeah, now let's go ahead and dive on into this. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. There we go. Now that we're zoomed in here. All right, so first off, we have Prince Orn. He's got 4 movement, 3 shields, 2 red die, 2 strength die, 1 agility die, and 3 wisdom die. And he has a staff which he could roll for a melee attack with a -2 with his wisdom dice. Is it wisdom? Now I'm second guessing myself. I don't think it's wisdom. Magic die. Is it just magic die? I don't know. Basically the purple one. Or his other ability is research, where he could pay 4 to research or to gain a spell. Now his special ability is divine word, which you could roll. If you get a 6, he can pay 3 focus, and all enemies within range 1 of him take 1 damage, or all heroes within 1 range of him gain 2 hearts, which I think both of those are super powerful. Being able to heal everyone can be super nice. Also, when those, I mean, they're not goblins, mobs. That's what they call them now, is mobs. Those mobs with 1 health, like, when they get a lot, that is so powerful. Just being able to do 1 damage to the room and all adjacent rooms. Super powerful. I think he's going to be cool. I like him with 6 health and 8 focus. That is a good health and good focus. I think he's going to be a strong one. Next up, we have Tugsy. We got 3 movement, 4 defense, 3 strength, 2 agility, and 1 magic. We'll just call it magic. He's got a punch for a melee attack with his strength with a -1, and his blunderbuss, which is that going to be that little gun. He can do a ranged attack, and all enemies in his space and within range 1 is his target. So blunderbuss and shooting that bomb, right? But he does have a -2 to it. But his demolition expert, when he makes a range attack, it doesn't have to be the blunderbuss, but any range attack, and he does use his strength for that range attack. But when he makes any range attack, he could discard a bomb explore token to add 4 to that roll, which that is also super powerful. Another good, basically, area of effects attack, but a little bit harder to do than Prince Prince Orn. Yeah, and then he's got 7 health and 5 focus. Next up here is we have Commander Lena, with 3 movement, 5 defense, 3 strength, 1 agility, 2 magic, and she starts off with just a straight up melee attack with strength, or she could blink. She could spend 3 focus to go to any revealed tile. That's actually kind of cool, as she is the elf Blink Blade. Makes sense. And then she has a synergized attack that she can make a magic attack and roll her purple or wisdom die, and she gets a 4. That's if she makes it, and if she is in the room with another person, then she meaning Commander Lena, can make a melee attack with a +2 attack, or +2 to her dice roll. So that one's kind of different. That's a new symbol there. So that one's kind of interesting, but she does have 7 health and 5 focus. Next up, we have Ava the Brave, with 5 movement, 3 defense, 1 strength, 3 agility, 2 magic. And she starts off with a bow. She's a human explorer. A bow she could shoot in a straight line up to 2 areas away using her agility die, which is her strength, but with a -1. And she actually can explore. So this is similar to the not sorcerers, but magic people's research. But she can spend 5 focus, which is almost all of her focus, to gain an explore token. So that one, she could actually come in handy trying to get those explore tokens, especially getting her with Tugsy to get those bombs so she could get those +4. That would be a good combo right there. And then she has the Scout's Vigils. She could, anytime and many times she wants, she could spend 1 focus to reveal an adjacent tile. That's kind of cool. I like that. Next up, we have Jolene. The True Human Marshal. She's got 3 movement, 5 defense. She's got 3 strength. Wow, we got a lot of strength, guys, here. This is the 3rd one. 2 agility and 1 wisdom. She, once again, also has just a straight-up melee attack with her strength. Then Bolster. As a free action, she could spend 2 focus to have all heroes within 2 +1 heart. Okay, so that's more of like, when you're only +1 heart, you're kind of hopefully saving someone from barely dying, not just doing it just to give someone from 6 to 7. But it is within good range, so it could be helpful. This is the really cool part, is Rally Spirit. This is just a passive ability. This is the first time any hero's ever had any type of just passive ability. But all heroes within range 1, including herself, gets a +1 to any die roll. That means her sword is actually a +1 right off the bat, which is super strong. Super strong. And then she's got 7 health and 5 focus. She's really cool. I'm excited to try her. Next up, we have Silver, the Gray Elf Sharpshooter. We have 1 strength, 3 agility, 2 wisdom, 6 health, 6 focus, 6 and 6. And for one weapon she's got a stiletto, which is a melee attack with her agility, but it is a -2. And then a bow, range attack up to 2 areas away, but with a -1. All right, this is, once again, I had a hard time with this with the base game with the archer. I don't remember his name, or if he's an archer or ranger or whatever he is. And he starts off with a -1 with his bow. And he's a sharpshooter, but he gets a -1 to his bow. Thematically, I hate that. Like, why is a sharpshooter getting a -1 to his roll? Don't agree. Don't agree at all. I mean, I know it is ranged, but I don't feel like range is that much more of a benefit that you need a -1 to it. I mean, we just talked about Jolene, where technically she has a +1 to her melee. Like, just a straight up range attack with no minus is no way stronger than a melee attack with a +1. Like, I would much rather have a melee +1 than this bow, for sure. Anyways, pet peeve of mine with this game. And they still did it, which made me mad, but whatever. That's all right. It is what it is. Then he's got a double shot. One time during his turn, he could do a free action to -4 focus to make a ranged attack with a -2. Now, this one, I understand. It's a double shot. It's an extra. It's basically an extra attack. If you're doing an extra attack, I'm okay with some negatives, with minuses and stuff. But I just don't like that an elf sharpshooter gets a -1 to his bow attack. Just thematics don't make sense. But yeah, we'll go on. Next up, we have Echo, the human illusionist. She's got 4 movement, 5 defense, 1 strength, 2 agility, and 3 wisdom. And she's got flash bolt. Make a ranged attack within range 1 with a -2. Why does it have that squiggly line within range 1? You can't go around a corner within range 1 because range 1 has to be adjacent. That one's kind of confusing. How do you go around a corner within range 1? I don't know. Let me know if I'm thinking wrong here, but that one doesn't make sense. But with a -2, but it is with wisdom dice, or then a research because she is a magic person, to spend 4 focus to gain a spell. She's got 5 health and 7 focus. Now this one's actually kind of cool. This is before the enemy activation. She could spend 3 focus for all heroes within range 2 cannot take any damage or lose any focus. Now, in the written part of this, in one of the updates, it said or, like either no damage or no lose any focus, but I don't know if that really meant, because on here there's no slash like there is, either or. So I'm not sure if you get both or if it's just one. It looks like as iconography written, you cannot lose health and you cannot lose focus by what it looks like it's written there. But we'll see when the final thing comes out. Now this one's cool. Red Ghost. I think he's going to be cool. So he's got 4 movement and 4 shields, 2 strength, 3 agility, and 1 wisdom. And he's got a little shiv for melee attack with agility for -1. See, that -1 makes sense. It's a little shiv. It's not going to do a lot of damage. I'm okay with that. Because he is a faceless assassin, right? He's not going to be in there doing a lot of damage, but he does got some good shiv things. Or a dart. And for a range attack, up to range of 2 with a -1. See? How is an assassin's dart just as powerful as a elf sharpshooter's bow? I'm sorry, a sharpshooter's bow should be much more powerful than an assassin's dart, but they're exactly the same. Thematics, don't like it. But once again, the dart makes sense. It's an assassin. He's not there to do a lot of damage. He's just, right? He's not going to kill someone with it. Well, I mean, he can, but you know what I'm saying. And then this also is a new symbol here for his Shadow Strike. So I'm not sure what that symbol means in and of itself, but the way it was written was, when an enemy is spawned in your area, you can make an immediate magic attack or magic roll, and if you get 6, you can spend 2 to make a melee attack of +2 right then and there, interrupting the spawning thing. So this is like an out of turn thing. Or maybe that means during the enemy's turn, or That's the way that it was written does not match this picture, because how does that say spawn? I'm not sure. But basically saying that he can make a melee, he could interrupt a spawn. So basically an out of turn attack, basically, if someone spawns on his area. Super, super cool. Super excited about that one. And then some painted miniatures, which they do not come painted. I like that they had to say, hey, just to let you know, this is not the way they come. The greater the danger, the higher the reward. New loots. What we're going to do here is we're going to go through the 3 sets that it comes with. So we have the dragon set. We have Clave of the Dragon, which make a melee attack of +1, or make a melee attack and an area effect, but with agility. So that's actually really cool. Scale Mail of the Dragon gives you an extra defense. Tooth of the Dragon gives you a +1 to strength and agility. And then the Aegis of the Dragon, when you make a melee attack, you get to re-roll 1 die, and you get +1 defense. And then the set bonus is basically movement. If you have 2 of the set, you get +1 movement, +2, and +3 movement, depending on how many you have there. Next up here, we have the Automata. Yes? Sure, we'll go with it. Basically, you can make a melee attack with your agility, and when you make a melee attack, you can spend 4 focus to not roll the enemy die. That's pretty cool. Or the casing of the automata is when you make a melee attack, you spend 2 focus to +2 defense. When you make a successful ranged attack, you could spend 1 to target enemy -1 damage. Ooh, I'll have to look up. Let's see what it says. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's just the target enemy. That's my guess, is the target enemy takes 1 damage. And the Mortar of the Automata, make a range attack, a range 2, with a +1 with agility. Or you can make a range attack and pay 3 focus to have a range 4 and a +2. And then the set bonus is focus, which, as you can tell, you need focus for all of these, so that getting that set bonus can be really beneficial just to use them of themselves. The last one is the Pegasus. We have the Wand of the Pegasus, with make your range attack. Once again, you have that, like, it doesn't have to be in a straight line, but it's only ranged 1 with magic or wisdom. But how do you go around the corner of 1? I'm really confused with that. Anyways, Wings of the Pegasus is before. Oh, that's interesting. Before enemies activate, you can move 1. That's kind of cool, actually. That's interesting. Crystal of the Pegasus. All your wisdom rolls get a +1, and before enemies activate, you gain 1 focus. That's cool. I actually have no idea what that is. Scroll of the Pegasus. Ah. That means you could hold, if I'm understanding this right, that means you could hold 1 extra spell. So you could hold 3 spells. Scroll of the Pegasus, hold 3 spells, and then gives you the research ability, basically. And then the set bonus is going to be hearts every time you make a magic heroic action. And then we have all of the spells. I'm not going to go through all of the spells. If you've seen any of my things here, I'm not a big fan of the spells, so maybe these will change my mind a little bit, hopefully. That's cool, Minotaur's Might, that looks cool. But we're not going to go through all of those. Alright, so there's all the sets there. This just kind of goes over the deluxe stuff. And then we go down, what's in the expansion. We get 8 more new heroes, 10 more loot cards, which includes 2 new sets. with set bonuses and everything. We have 5 more spell cards, 2 more items, so 12 new loot cards, some more minions, 13 special rooms, 2 mob cards, 3 secret envelopes. That means in the expansion, which is Phantom Voyage, there's going to be 3 extra, basically, scenarios that comes in that Phantom Voyage expansion. And then you got mission mats. I don't even know what that means, but that sounds cool. We got a ship token, some fish folk tokens. So this is, Phantom Voyage is definitely ship based, but sounds pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and dive through these heroes. I know, sorry, this is kind of a lot, but I know sometimes this is hard to like read these, so I really wanted to go through them so people understood what it all actually meant. So the first one we have Glacius Spellclaw, a Polarkin Battle Mage. Polarkin Battle Mage, that's kind of cool. Sounds cool at least. With 3 movement, 3 defense, 2 strength, 1 agility, 3 magic or wisdom. First one is Ice Saber. Melee attack with a -1 with his wisdom. Or then research. Whoa! He's magic, but he's got 7 health and 7 focus. That's high for a magic. But I guess he is a battle mage, so I guess that makes sense in that aspect. But then Blizzard. This is kind of cool. He can make a magic attack with using wisdom with number 7 and get 7 if he gets 7. Wow, I'm struggling. When he gets 7, he can spend 4 focus for all enemies within range 1, including the one that he's in, gets -2 health. But if he misses, all heroes within range 1 take 1 damage. That's actually kind of cool. I kind of like that. Right? It makes sense. It's a blizzard, and if the blizzard doesn't hit, it's gonna hit other people around you. Anyways, that's pretty cool. I like that. Then we got Shil-Ul, half-orc berserker. With 3 movement, only 2 defense, or 2 shield, 3 strength, 2 agility, 1 wisdom. And she has a Gladius, which is just a straight up melee attack with no pluses or minuses. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. She's got a throwing spear with only range 1, but her agility, which is only 2 dice. Okay. I guess I would rather 3 dice and a -1 than 2 dice and a no negatives, but that threw me off there for a second. But then she has Frenzy, that after a successful melee attack, she can only 1 time spend 1 focus to move 1 and make another melee attack of -2. Holy cow. That is awesome. And it only costs 1 focus. I thought that would like cost all of her focus. But spend 1 focus to attack again. Yeah. Why would you not do that? And you can move 1 so you can hiya, hiya, hiya. That's cool. I like berserkers, barbarian type things. Those hard hitters, I like that. So that's cool. Shil-Ul. Then we have Lord Theodulf. He's a Wolfborn tracker. We got 4 movement, 4 shields, 2 strength, 3 wisdom, or 3 agility, 1 wisdom. And his attack is claws. Oh. A melee attack with strength and a -1? Really? I don't like that at all. Why does he have a -1 and he's only rolling 2 dice? That's a super big beginning negative. Okay. I don't like that. That makes me sad because he looks cool. Skulk. For his other one, for free action, he can spend 1 focus so he can move 2, or he can spend 2 movement and he could go through enemies there. Or he could pounce. He could do a magic attack, but with his agility 6, and he can spend 4 focus, which is like all of his focus, to do 2 damage to all heroes where he lands. Okay, like that is really good, except for makes him spend all of his focus, so he can't do that every turn. Ah, that makes me really sad. I don't like him. I don't like that. When you start off and you can't do anything, I don't like those heroes. I don't like heroes that you have to wait to get the perfect loot for them to be able to do anything. And that's how I feel like he is. He could pounce once, and then he's got to rest, so he gets all of his focus back. Like, yeah. Anyways, because he's not getting it back from attacking with claws. Anyways, that's kind of sad. I mean, I guess he's just a tracker, so it's not like attacking. I don't know. Really sad. I don't like that guy. I love the looks of him and the idea of him, though. Ooh. Next up, we have Tyr. He is a pixie beast master. He is very interesting. So he only has one of each. Well, he got 5 movement, 3 defense. He only has one of each color. And his first ability is Dust. He can make a magic attack with his wisdom for 4. If successful, he can spend 2 focus. Once again, within range 1, -1 damage. Yeah, I don't understand that. Range 1, but around corners. This is the 3rd card that they've done it now. So it can't be a mistake, but I don't understand how that works. If you understand it, please let me know, because I'm confused. Catnap. So when he takes a rest action, he gets the +3 and +5 and +2 and +2. So he really gets +5 and +7. So he's basically healing himself all the way and gaining all of his focus back every time he rests. Now this is where it becomes super interesting. When he makes a melee attack, he can spend 4 focus to add 4 to the roll. When he makes a magic attack, he can spend 3 focus to +3 to the roll. And when he does a search or a lockpick action, he can -2 focus to +2 to his roll. So he's only rolling 1 dice no matter which one he's doing, but he can spend focus depending on what it is to add to it. So he could roll a 6 and +4 and get a 10. So he can basically get a 10 with 1 die, right? So it's really, really interesting. But he's going to be spending focus a lot. But that's why when he rests, he basically gets all of his focus back. Super, super interesting gameplay there. I'm interested to try him out for sure. Next up, we have a cool looking one. Kakaza, something like that. 3 movement, 3 defense, 3 strength, 2 agility, 1 wisdom. And he's got a toothed blade. Ooh. See, he starts off with a melee attack with strength with a +1. I like that. And then guard. When he does a melee attack, he can -1 to a die to get a +2 to his defense. Interesting. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But yeah, basically you -1 from your die result and to +2. I don't know, can you do the die you didn't use? Or does it have to be... Oh, no, it's that dice result. So it has to be from just as a normal -1. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then his Pride Protector. Before an enemy activates, you can take 2 hearts or take 2 hits for everyone in your area cannot lose any hearts. So basically, if someone's about to get hit hard, he could protect it, take 2 damage, and make it so no one no one else gets hurt. That's pretty cool. I really like the way he looks. I like the animal type people. I think they're pretty cool. Next up, we have Taffety, the Gnome Artificer. Wait, what was he? He was a Lionkin Gladiator. That's cool. All right, we have Tiffany, the Gnome Artificer. Got 4 movement, 4 defense, 1 strength, 3 agility, 2 wisdom. And she does a shock rod. Wait, what? A melee attack with agility and a +1. See, how are these like +1s? And then you have the one guy who gets a -1 and 2 dice. Like, I don't know. Anyways, But, oh, that's interesting. Tinker. Whenever she rests, she could grab something out of the discard pile. That is really cool, actually. Interesting, interesting. And then a trap bot, she can unlock something from 3 distance away and around corners. But if she doesn't succeed on the lockpick action, she has to discard a loot card. But she can get it back from resting, but that's cool. And 6 heart and 6 focus. Overseer Orok, the bird folk vizier. Yeah, I'm not sure how to say that. He's got 4 movement, 3 shield, 1 strength, 2 agility, 3 wisdom. With his jewel staff, once again, here's the 4th time. He can do a ranged attack within range 1 with his wisdom. So that's actually pretty strong. Usually these magic people have some type of minus. So he's actually not bad. Advanced research, which you can spend the 4 focus to plus 2 spells, but you have to discard 1. So basically you draw 2, pick 1, discard 1, and grab the other. That's actually really cool. I like that. And then he's got the piercing eye. For magic attack and wisdom roll of 4, if you succeed, spend 4 focus to flip over a tile, and then everyone in your space minus 1 heart. You reveal it, and then you do 1 damage to everyone in that revealed room. So that can really help get rid of those goblins and or mobs here. And it's not wisdom, it's intellect, intelligence. Purple is intelligence. Yep, I know all of you are probably yelling at me. I keep saying wisdom and magic. It's intelligence. I get it now. My bad. All right. Then we have Copperheart. He's a construct servitor. Servitor. All right. He's got 4 movement, 4 defense, 2 strength, 1 agility, 3 intellect. And he can shock with magic with intellect of roll of 5. Spends 3 focus to do everyone in his room minus 1 damage. That one can be really nice if like a lot of mobs are in one room. That would be nice. Download. Oh, that's interesting. So download is kind of like research where you gain a magic or a spell, and then you can discard the top card from the loot deck. So basically it helps you get through that loot deck even faster because you are just putting it in the discard pile, because you could always grab from the discard pile instead. So that's actually kind of cool. I like that way to feed through that deck. And then he has Restore. Make a major magic attack and minus 4 focus. And all heroes within range 1 get 2 health and 3 focus. Oh, so it's just because it's a heroic action, but you don't have to roll for it. But it's heroic action. Gotcha. All right. That is all of the heroes. Whew. Yeah, now it's been 45 minutes. No, it'll be cut down, but yeah, it was a lot. Now let's go through the loot expansions here. Or the loot expansions. The expansion loot. We have the Kraken loot. Fishhook of the Kraken. Before the enemy activates, all enemies get hurt 1 in the room that you're in. Ringmail of the Kraken. During a melee or range attack, you get to reroll 1. The net of the Kraken. This is where I'm not sure, but what it looks like is make a range attack. When you make a range attack, you can move the enemy into your space, which I don't know why that would be helpful. Where it was written down, it was copy and pasted from a different one, so it actually doesn't say what that means. But that's what I'm saying it means. That's what it looks like, is that basically you're fishing that enemy, you're bringing it closer to you. Why you would want to do that, I'm not sure. Unless you have the Trident of the Kraken, because then you could do a melee attack with either strength or agility, or a range attack with either strength or agility of range 2. And then its set ability is going to be defense, 1, 2, and 3 defense. Oh, they fixed it. Yeah, they fixed it. They fixed it already, actually. So yeah, that is exactly what it is. Is you may move the targeted enemy into your room after attacking it. And then we have the Revenant. Coin of the Revenant. During a melee, range, or magic, you can spend 1 heart to reroll all of your dice. Or on the hood of the Revenant, as a free action once per turn, you can minus a heart to make your movement go through enemies and through walls. Which with this one trying to get to a certain spot, that one can actually be super beneficial. Scythe of the Revenant is, maybe I gotta read this one real quick. Yeah, this is the one that didn't have it. Because it says, make melee attack with everyone in your area, roll any dice that you want, any color dice that you want. If it's successful, target hero -1 health. So like this does not make any sense because how is it successful? There's no number you're rolling after. Like what are you trying to roll after? What are you going? Like if you successfully hit? I don't know. And this is the one where they don't have it written. So I can't tell you exactly what's going on there. But with this one, with the Relic of the Revenant, with the melee, range, or magic attack, you could spend 1 health to +1 to your roll. And then the set bonus is before the enemy activates, you can gain hearts basically. Every time they activate, you gain health, which is actually kind of cool. I like that as well. And then, as you can see, we've got the extra spells there that we're not going to go through. And there's the Revenant and the Kraken loot sets. Here's basically the game rules and all the how to plays, or not how to plays, but the playthroughs and previews of this game, of Adventures specifically. Here's all the stretch goals, which the stretch goals we've already gone through because they were already up throughout the whole thing. Except for this physical appendix, which will help basically everything that I just did. It'll have it all written out, which will be very needed. As we can tell, there's already a few that just don't make sense. So we'll need some clarification on that. That is kind of cool. They'll have a basically backstories for all of the 16 heroes that come in this. And if we make it to 800,000, there will be an audio version of those stories. And then the different reward tiers that you can have, just the base game or the deluxe game. The deluxe game just came with a couple extra things, so it's worth just getting the deluxe part. I think so anyways. Deluxe bundle, you get deluxe base game and Phantom Voyage, which once again I think is worth it because of all the extra heroes and bosses and minions and everything you get. Definitely worth it. And then you could get where you get multiples of them. And then if you really want, you could get the honorary producer, pay like $300 or something like that. How much is it? Yeah, $275 to have it printed saying, hey, you were a producer on this because you paid a lot of money. And then you can buy 10 of them if you really want to buy 10 of them. Premium upgrades. This is just showing that, hey, everything's high quality, which it is. If it's anything like Tiny Epic Dungeon, everything's nicely done quality-wise. I have no problems with that. Shipping here. Base game for USA is $12, all the way up to $26 for 10 of them, which who's gonna do that? But basically, deluxe bundle I think is what everyone's gonna go for. $14 for the US, up to 26. And then obviously, yeah, actually 32 for Liechtenstein. Seems like to be the most expensive one. Oh, 27 for Indonesia, Malaysia. Still, if they could keep to that, that's not horrible for that tiny box. Yeah, there you go. There is Tiny Epic Dungeon Adventures. I hope that was helpful and understanding, let's go ahead and talk about my real quick here, because I know it's been a very long time. Let's go ahead, go over obtain or abstain. If you watched up to this point, watched through everything, you probably already know this is a huge obtain for me. I already said at the very beginning, I love Tiny Epic Dungeons. More of it, I'm just happy with. So, is this going to change your opinion on Tiny Epic Dungeon? That is the good question, actually, which I don't know for sure, but I'm questioning yes, possibly. If your problem was the fact that it was just so hard, because I know a lot of people had a hard time with that. From what it looks like, this is easier. Easy? No. Easier? Possibly. Because they've added in some of the new things. Some new things like the explore tokens, I think, are going to help. The torch track, at least the one on the videos, there's more spots in it than the initial one. So, which means that you basically have more time. I think that this is going to be slightly easier, is my guess, but I really don't know. So, it's on the edge of, if the hardness was your problem, this might actually fix that. I'm hoping that it fixes that a little bit. The other thing, that it's just more heroes and more stuff. So if you love Tiny Epic Dungeon, this is an easy obtain because it's just more of it and that's what you want. If you're like, yeah, I like Tiny Epic Dungeon, but I want more to it, I don't know how much more this adds other than the story. That's one thing that I've wanted about Tiny Epic Dungeons. I've wanted a campaign. So I loved the expansion that it came with. I don't even remember what it's called now. But basically, stories. The expansion stories, I like that because it had a very small campaign-like feature, and I love playing that. I like playing that more than I do just like the one-off of Tiny Epic Dungeon, so I really wanted a more campaign-like. So that I'm super excited for, but with mechanics and everything, I don't think it's adding much. So if you're like, yeah, take it or leave it, Tiny Epic Dungeons, this probably won't change your mind. Probably more of an abstain for you if you're not into this type of deal. But, I don't have much to say other than I'm super excited for this. So if you have any questions or anything, let me know down in the comments below. The link to the campaign will be down below, and I will see you later.